This week, Lab TV travels to a Navy research lab in China Lake, California, where scientists, engineers, and artists create virtual worlds for the military. It looks like a giant video game, but it's actually called a virtual prototype facility.
We've basically represented different parts of the world. This particular one we're driving through right now is Baghdad. So we've got a representation. We can put a soldier in the seat and he can actually drive through the town, and we can simulate events the same way a video game works when you're interfacing and playing at home. We do that here with the soldier, but we just add a lot more realism to it.
They brought in Marines to help develop this virtual Humvee, so it drives just like the real thing. They can also replace the Humvee with a cockpit and fly jet planes. Practicing these virtual missions lets them run scenarios hundreds of times until they are perfect.
It's like a very large video game. It's almost a real-time strategy game, except that it's the real world. When we put out a bunch of entities or ships or people or cars, we do our best to make them match reality.
This may seem like a big toy, but it's really not. What it is there's a lot of realistic data that builds this up. If you were to pick a point here in the world, in Baghdad, the same latitude and longitude corresponds to our database. These are real buildings, the exact footprints that they take place, the roads are in the exact same place, and what we would add here when we were doing a demonstration is we would have people walking back and forth. We would also add the fires, the smoke, the atmosphere, clouds, fog, whatever else we needed to represent that time of day or that particular event that's taking place. Everything is the same as it is in the real world, so it's a lot more representative than what you would find in a normal video game.
They're even designing ways to combine their virtual missions with real-world missions. Then they'll be able to share information instantly, so soldiers, Marines, and pilots can respond to threats in real time.
It's much more important than just a game. This system interfaces with a lot of other pieces or components, so the commanders would be able to talk to us here. If we had UAVs flying around, we'd be able to get that information and that picture or imagery to the guy on the ground driving out here.
Here we have the ability to fly any of these air vehicles. So we can put a simulated aircraft up at that kind of altitude and fly it anywhere in the world.
An unmanned aerial vehicle is like an eye in the sky. If I was going to an area like this, an unmanned aerial vehicle would provide me data of what's up in front of me, letting me know what I'm going to be driving into, what may be out there, what dangers are lurking. Again, bring technology right to the driver's seat.
The team is using these virtual worlds to save lives and save money. It's a lot more than your average video game, but it uses the same technology, and that technology uses math and science.
A wonderful entry point into math and science is video games, ironically enough. The technology that goes into video games is what makes all of this possible. A simple Google search for how do I write my own video game will get you pretty far along. There are free tools that can be downloaded and run on your computer at home that will allow you to assemble very simple video games just in the comfort of your own home. It's really quite cool.
It's very creative. This is an open environment. I mean, this place just brews creativity. Your imagination can just run wild here. My particular part, I was an artist, and that's what I went through school with, and I found out that I could draw and do stuff in color and 3D on computers. That was my niche, and I was hooked from that point on.
To find out more about virtual prototypes, check out labtvonline.org.